Canada is a G7 nation, 41 million people, the 10th largest economy on Earth. Texas? Just a state. But in 2026, something impossible happened. Texas now has a $2.9 trillion economy. Canada? Just $2.5 trillion. A single state produces $400 billion more than an entire country. And Texas just overtook California for the most Fortune 500 companies. But how did this happen? And why is Canada quietly falling apart? For decades, Canada was the rich, polite neighbor. Universal healthcare, great schools. Texas? Oil, cowboys, and big hats. But since 2000, Texas added over $2 trillion to its economy. Canada? Just $1.8 trillion, despite having 9 million more people. And in Q1 2026, Canada lost population for the first time since World War II. And reason number 3, it involves a fact about Canada that sounds so absurd, you won't believe it's real. Let's rewind to 2000. Canada's GDP? $742 billion. Texas GDP? $936 billion. Wait, Texas was already bigger? In 2000, Texas had 20 million people. Canada had 31 million. Texas was already producing more with fewer people. Fast forward to 2026. Texas, 32 million people. $2.9 trillion GDP. GDP per capita, $92,800. Canada, 41 million. $2.5 trillion. $60,305 per person. So what's Texas doing right that Canada can't copy? Let's start with reason number 1, and it's not just oil. Reason number 1, energy. If Texas were a country, it would be the 5th largest oil producer on Earth. The Permian Basin alone produces 5.4 million barrels per day. But here's the fact that breaks brains. Texas produces more wind energy than most U.S. states produce total energy. Texas wind, 40 gigawatts. That's 22% of all Texas electricity. And in 2026, solar generation jumped 42% in just 1 year. Texas is number 1 in oil and wind. Nobody else on Earth does both at this scale. Canada? The Trans Mountain Pipeline took 10 years and $34 billion. In Texas, they build pipelines in 18 months. But energy is just the foundation. The real money? It's moving in from the West Coast. Reason number 2, the Great Tech Migration. When COVID hit, companies started fleeing California. Tesla moved to Austin. Oracle left Silicon Valley. HP Enterprise moved to Houston. Apple is building a $1 billion campus in Austin. 15,000 jobs. Austin's population grew 30% in 5 years. 150 people moved to Austin every day. But here's the fact that will blow your mind. Texas trades $300 billion with Mexico per year. Canada, just $45 billion. Texas, a state, trades 7 times more with Mexico than Canada. But here's the real weapon Texas has. Reason number 3, taxes. Texas has 0 state income tax. California, 13.3%. Canada, up to 54% total. But here's the fact that sounds fake, but is 100% real. Canada has trade barriers between its own provinces. It is harder to sell beer from Ontario to Quebec than to export to the United States. The Canadian Internal Trade Agreement has over 3,000 exceptions. Eliminating these could add 7% to Canada's GDP. And Canadian household debt just hit $2.6 trillion. Debt-to-income ratio, 179.6%. Canadians owe $1.80 for every $1 of income. But taxes are only half the story. The other half? It's destroying Canada from the inside. Reason number 4, Canada's housing crisis. Canada has one of the least affordable housing markets among developed countries. In many major cities, home prices have risen much faster than wages for years. But here's the fact that breaks Economics 101. Most Canadians live close to the US border, where jobs, infrastructure, and major cities are concentrated. Vast areas of the country are sparsely populated and unsuitable for large-scale development. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, demand has grown much faster than new housing supply. Housing isn't just becoming expensive to buy. Rent has also climbed sharply, making it harder for young families to save for a down payment. So Texas is winning, right? But here's the twist nobody's talking about. Texas GDP per capita, $92,800. That's higher than the UK, France, Japan, Italy, and Canada. Since 2000, Texas added 12 million people. Canada added 10 million. People keep choosing Texas. But Texas has a dark side. The power grid nearly collapsed in 2021. Hundreds of people died. 18% of Texans have no health insurance. Canada, universal health care, lower poverty. Texas is growing fast, but is it growing smart? So who's really winning?
So what's the lesson? Texas shows us what happens when you cut taxes, reduce regulation, and let businesses thrive. Canada shows us what happens when you prioritize social safety over economic growth. Both models have strengths, both have weaknesses. Texas is growing rapidly, but it faces challenges in healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Canada offers stronger social protections, but slower economic growth and a more expensive housing market. What do you think? Is Texas's model sustainable, or is Canada's approach better in the long run? Drop your take in the comments.